It is my absolute pleasure right now to welcome in quarterback extraordinaire, Justin Herbert out of the University of Oregon, who is your CoSIDA Academic All-America Team Member of the Year for all of Division I sports. I mean, it is remarkable. You've been an extraordinary student athlete, a 4.0 in general science, which let's remove the general part. The science part is what counts. And I can't wait to explore that a little bit with you. The 6th overall pick to the Los Angeles Chargers in the most recent National Football League draft. As a member of the NFL, I'm so excited for your future with this franchise. What a franchise. And then all that goes with what you've accomplished, the Campbell Trophy winner, that stands for on-field performance, academic performance, what you've done in the community, 4 years at Oregon. The numbers really speak for themselves. I'm just going to throw out a couple of them. Second all-time, 95 touchdowns. But last year, dude, you were just extraordinary. 32 touchdowns, I think only 6 picks. The MVP of the Rose Bowl in that win over Wisconsin. You look like Lamar Jackson out there. I mean, all those rushing touchdowns. And then, of course, over 10,000 passing yards. Not many can do that over a 4-year career. That's also second all-time at Oregon. What is your reaction, though, given all those stats and, you're headed into the NFL? Congratulations. What's your reaction to this honor?
It's a huge honor. And first off, I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. But I think it's a reflection of the University of Oregon and our football program and the way that things that we did on and off the field and the way that Coach Cristobal and Coach Arroyo, what they emphasized for our team has set the standard for everyone. And I couldn't have done it without them. I couldn't have done it without the Jaquez staff at the University of Oregon and all the remarkable opportunities that we were given. And I put the work in and they gave me the opportunities, and I couldn't be more thankful for it.
What's really interesting, you mentioned Coach Cristobal, Justin, and you've been through the coaching changes over your career. Injuries, whatever adversities have come up, you have fought through those. And what you guys accomplished last year, headed to the Rose Bowl, winning it, was remarkable. Given some of the challenges along the way, when you go through a coaching change, which you and I both know means a scheme change, and you go through an injury, and yet you're a 4.0 in the science world, how do you overcome that and maintain such excellence in both platforms?
Yeah, that's a really tough situation to put a team through. And I think for us, one of the biggest things was we had a group of guys in that locker room that no matter what happened, we were going to get through it. And we were so close, and I could go to any of those guys for anything. And I know they could do the same. And going through the first coach, second coach, and then on to Coach Cristobal, we had to find a way and we had to stick together. And through all of that change, we stayed the same. And to go from 4-8 to 12-2, I don't think there was any bigger accomplishment for us.
It was very impressive. I would be remiss not to mention this extraordinary time we're in. So you have this career. You're the MVP of the Rose Bowl. You're the MVP of the Senior Bowl, which is a huge event where all eyes are on you from the National Football League. And yet we're in this pandemic now. And now you're about to go and embark upon a career at the pro level. Where are you with your training? Give our viewers, people watching this, where Justin Herbert is right now in this pandemic. And I pray that you and your family are safe.
Yeah, it's been difficult for everyone, and we've done our best to stay safe and be responsible and everything like that. But at the same time, this is a huge step in my life, and I've got to find ways to get our work in. And so from about March until the draft, I was at home with my brothers, and we were lifting in the backyard, throwing at a park up the field. So we kind of had to find a way to get our work in. And then after that, after the draft, I drove down to LA to get to work and got to lift and run and meet a lot of those guys down there. So for the past couple months, I've been down there. And for the past 2 weeks, I came back home to spend some time with my family and just relax a little bit.
Which means you're in Eugene right now. Give us a little more, though, on some of those guys you're working out with. You're going to join forces with Tyrod Taylor, who's, going to, maybe a competition there. Anthony Lynn, the head coach, of the Chargers franchise. Pep Hamilton's going to be your quarterback's coach. He's awesome. And then some of the receivers, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Who have you worked with? What kind of stuff can you do during the pandemic?
Yeah, it's tough. What we can and can't do, we've tried to figure that out. But Tyrod's been really nice. He's been super helpful. He's been a great guy, and so I've got to kind of lift with him and kind of learn from him a little bit. And Easton Stick, another quarterback on the roster, is a great guy, and getting to spend time with those guys has been super valuable. And kind of like you mentioned, a lot of those receivers are pretty impressive. And Andre Patton, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, all these guys that are there, it's really fun to watch them. So I'm really excited to get to work with them.
Well, Shane Steichen's excited to have you as the coordinator too. Like I said, the potential with you, just the sky's the limit. Let's talk about your academic career. 4.0 in general sciences. Explain to folks maybe what that entailed for you. I believe there was an emphasis for you in biology, but I'm really fascinated that the face of this institution and what will be a face in the NFL moving forward is like a science nerd. Would you define yourself as a science nerd?
I don't know if I'd go there. I think
okay.
for the first 3 years of my college career, I was a biology major. Pre-med, wanted to go to medical school, and then football kind of came around. And so going into my senior year, I knew that I had to give football everything, and so I changed to a general science major. So I pretty much completed all the courses that I needed to graduate. And so I got everything done in those 3 years. And it was tough. I really had to learn about how to manage my time and what really was important to me. And football and school were the two biggest things. So I had to get my time done with those things and kind of figure it out like that. But it was definitely tough and had a lot of resources and a lot of help along the way. So I couldn't have done it without my friends.
Paint a picture for us on the hardest day when quarterbacks have to know everything. I mean, it's the demanding position, constant meetings. But then in the classroom, give us just a paint a picture of a snippet in a tough day in both realms that you would go through possibly.
Yeah, I remember we were on a road trip. I can't remember what team we were playing, but that entire week we were studying for this team and getting the protections and all these things down. And the following day, right after the game, I had to take a final or a midterm or something like that. So on the plane ride home, the following morning, I was studying all night and didn't get much sleep. And it was a quick turnaround and kind of had to balance that. And that's what comes with the territory. So was prepared for it and actually ended up doing pretty well on the test.
I have no doubt about that. If you weren't a football player, knock on wood, because you're a fine football player, what would be the career path that in your passion of science and biology you would possibly take?
I would have loved to have gone to medical school. My older brother, he's actually leaving to Columbia in about a month or so to go to medical school, and he's always been the guy that I've really looked up to, and he kind of showed us the way all throughout our childhood. But if I couldn't play, I'd probably want to coach football. I'd miss the game too much, and I need to be around it. So along the lines of something like that, I'd have to join that.
Justin, you just had so many great moments at the collegiate level. The freshest, of course, is the Rose Bowl, those 3 rushing touchdowns. I mean, Wisconsin had no answer. And it was back and forth. What are you, not to sound too broad, but what are your most proud moments as a Duck over the course of your 4 years?
Yeah, I think there are a few games, kind of like the Wisconsin, a couple of Washington games, even the Washington State game our senior year, where we were 56 seconds left and we drove down the field and kicked the game-winning field goal to win it. But I think overall, showing up in 2016, going 4-8, that's unheard of for the Oregon program, and we felt really responsible for that, and we knew that we had to change that. And so our group of seniors, that I think maybe there were 6 or 7 guys from the 2016 class that have stuck it out. We came together and alongside the group in front of us ended up going 12-2 this past year, and that's where Oregon deserves to be. And it took a lot of work, and we didn't win a whole lot of games my freshman and sophomore year, but the Rose Bowl is where Oregon deserves to be. And I think that's probably our proudest moment.
That's so awesome. If a youngster was watching this right now, I mentioned, your position, the quarterback position. You have been a dynamic ambassador for the game of football, for the academic side of it, and the community side of it. What advice or representation would you want to share with a young person aspiring to be the next Justin Herbert?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say my father, he was my coach growing up, and his 4 pieces of advice to me were treat people the way you want to be treated, never give up, always get better, and do your best. And those 4 things to me were kind of the way I've lived my life, and I would offer that to anyone. And I think if you do those 4 things, you can look back and be proud of everything you've done, and whether you make it or not, you did your best. And alongside of that, you got to be yourself, be genuine, because I think at the end of the day, that's what's most important.
Ambitiously, because you are an ambitious man. What? How do you see your future in the National Football League? What kind of approach are you taking to joining the Chargers as the 6th overall pick? Because I know folks are going to want to hear about, your journey into the NFL and the excitement that surrounds really a magnificent opportunity and moment.
Yeah, I think for me, what I need to do is I need to do my best. I need to realize that football is my only priority right now. And so I've spent the past several months focusing on football, and for the first time in my life, I don't have to go to school. I don't have to do all these extra things. And so it's been the offense. It's been working on my footwork. It's been lifting, running, doing all these things to be the best quarterback that I can be. And I know when I set foot in that locker room, I'm gonna do my best to earn the respect of my teammates, be the guy that they want me to be, and most importantly, I'm gonna be the guy that I want to be. And so if I look back and I didn't make it, well, it's not gonna be because I didn't try hard enough. I'm gonna do everything I can, and just thankful for the opportunity.
To be in a position as we get ready to wrap up, and again, going back to the young people that might see this interview, leadership is such an important part of life in every realm, right? You're a fantastic leader. You have to be in what you've accomplished in the position that you play, and to really stand up academically the way that you have. How would you define what a leader is, and knowing and understanding that it's going to be a part of your mantra as you go along in this journey?
Yeah, it's being bulletproof. It's looking at that on and going right. A couple of things we've kind of dealt with. We were kind of like I mentioned earlier, Washington State a couple points. They just scored late in the game, and there were 56 seconds left. We had a timeout, and we could have said, you know what, shoot, this game, it didn't go our way today. We lost, or we could have wrapped it up, but we went out there. We told the guys, this is what we're going to do. We got the right guys. Let's go out there, execute. And it's all about staring that adversity down and not letting it affect you at all, because it's going to come. And try not let the highs be too high and the lows too low. So it's kind of managing that roller coaster of emotions.
Lastly, Justin, wrap your head around this for me one more time. You are the CoSIDA Academic All-America Team Member of the Year for all of Division I sports, not just football, because you're an Academic All-American last year. This is a group of nominees of nearly 7,000 individuals. At the end of the day, how does that affect you?
It's pretty tough to put into words. I'd say that my parents, my grandparents, especially my dad and my grandfather who taught biology growing up, I think they'd be pretty proud. And it's definitely a huge accomplishment. And on behalf of the University of Oregon and our football program, it's a huge honor for me, and couldn't have done it without all those guys and all the opportunities that we were given.
Justin Herbert, congratulations. Thank you from those of us at CoSIDA, and can't wait to watch your journey at the next level in the National Football League. You're one of the great ones.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.